Father's Day. Tonight we present episode number 235 of the Falls Count Everywhere podcast, as we discuss the upcoming class of 2026 Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame class with fellow member from the 2025 class and media coordinator for the organization, Luke Roberts. And it's third time's a charm is getting us started, but we're here, guys. Oh my God, I swear it's you got Facebook. Facebook, you see this?
We love you. We love you at Facebook.
So apparently Blog Talk Radio took over Meta, apparently, so, you know.
Sounds about right.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he wasn't even there for the Blog Talk stuff we had to deal with back in the day.
I know. At least you had to deal with, yeah, I think, wasn't there was like one episode that we were trying to, we got interrupted like 5 times, and we just said screw it, and just we were like, that's it, we're not going to try it again.
Yep.
We were just like, we're done.
Screw this shit, and I'm going home.
Yes, I see you.
Wasn't it the one we were trying to get the Techno Kid on it back then? I mean, that might have been that. I don't know.
No, those are the days of the cassette tapes and the 45s is where I think. Oh my gosh. Too many inside references. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. I am Rough Cut Rick Rube here at the top right, top left. I'm sorry. I don't know my left from my right apparently, but the top right is the Gem City Mouse and Miz. But we know who the bottom dweller is, and that's GQ. So
the bottom dweller.
Listen here, Ruby. Don't make me hit you with my cup.
That's the best. Oh,
it's all right. We're all good. Let's see. It's not the size of the store.
I have the power to put soda in this if I wanted to, but I'm not going to.
My dad just called me man masturbators of the universe.
Yes.
That's all.
Oh,
that's all I got.
Anyway,
I said what I said. Shout out to my dad. Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Not even 5 minutes into the episode.
Bro, he used to make fun.
Wait, hold on. I gotta get it. That one deserves.
He used to make fun of me for it all the time, and that's what he would call it, man. That's not my fault. My dad was. You know why I'm inappropriate? My dad was that.
And this is why you didn't have a pet monkey. So. Anyway.
Because he would have spanked it. Anyway. Boom.
Too far.
If you didn't,
I'll pepper card my.
If no one got it after what I just said, it's like, hello. Apparently, we got Mr. Obvious down sitting at the bottom here tonight. So, sorry.
Where's
what?
I feel all lonely down here without our Ebony brother.
Right.
What? Because you tried to say that you were the dark-skinned one earlier?
No, he showed up like the dark-skinned one earlier, so we're waiting.
Austin would be ashamed of you if that's the case. And Austin had other things to deal with instead of looking at your neon glowing ass.
Who, me?
Not him. Why'd you automatically get offended by it?
Have you seen my hair?
This is like the Mr. Clean joke in the green room all over again.
You're saying neon? Hello? I come come out with bright glasses and wear bright colors.
I was trying to take Austin's place and be the dirty heel for a minute and make fun of GQ, and you ruined it all.
We're ruining it.
You know, I can't laugh too much more because my back's still recovering and healing, and it hurts to laugh at
you
this.
Sit down there and you have to carry us too. You don't have to carry us.
Well, right now I got you both on me right now, like that. Look, it's like
I'm the Glenn Williams of Falls Count Everywhere.
So nobody's going to thank you either.
I mean, I get thanked all the time. I got
thank you, Z-Miz.
I got a text message just today about being thanked. I didn't see you post a post up saying we had Luke Roberts in the St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame on. I didn't see you do that, GQ. I did.
Did you look? Did you look at my shoot page? I actually did share that the other day. So
I don't know,
But who gave you credit on the copy? Who gave you credit on the copy?
I know. I'm not saying anything. That's what I'm saying. I got credit.
Yeah.
I don't.
Then you can't be taking Austin's place. I mean,
I can do. I am the Gym City mouth, man. That's exactly what I do. Is take other people's place and just run my lips. That's why people like me.
Yeah. Well, Austin Cage hopefully will be back next week. He's got other matters to tend to that he needs time away. So maybe he'll be back next week, which would be kind of cool because King and Queen of the Ring tournament is this Saturday. And of course, Sunday night before we get on is going to be, we're talking to Loaded because we've got NXT's Great American Bash. And right after that, you have SICW All-Star Wrestling. And right after that, you got us. You got a full Sunday night.
That's like almost a perfect night of wrestling for me.
Perfect Sunday night of wrestling right there.
I know Mr. Herb Simmons doesn't like the term indie promotion, but like you have one of the best wrestling promotions, plus you know whatever you want to say, but then one of the mainstream NXT's been cooking. So I really enjoyed the history lesson today on SICW All-Star right before here about the history of SICW and their classic championship. Got to get a little backstory on how Mr. Herb made the jump from fan to learning how to promote and do that and become a promoter. So it's always cool to sit back and listen to those old stories and listen to Dr. Drew. So,
did you see the last comment?
Yes, that's my dude, the Gym City Kid.
Put up the one.
he pretty much has to acknowledge him, or he gets grounded or something. So
it's not even my kid. I promise you that right now.
No,
okay. It sounded sus, though. I mean, it sounded like there was a relation.
That one did not come from my grapefruits at all. Man, come on. That was a good Vince McMahon joke, guys.
No,
come on.
That was good. That was good.
That's not even a pepper card. God damn.
You talk about your grapefruits on the show. Come on now. We got to be professional here.
I mean, I probably got muskmelons, actually. Let's be fair.
GQ's been picking his jokes from the corn maze, and he's been having 3 pepper cards already. So
I gave myself 1. Okay, come on now.
Oh gosh, he said that was part 1, along with the series B.
Longer than Roots and North and the South combined.
Oh wow.
Dear Lord.
And if you tag on Porgy and Bess. Anyway,
boy, you're aging yourself there. There you're over there. You're aging yourself there.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. I'm sorry that we couldn't. We were having trouble getting started, and it was thanks to my platform here. For some reason, Facebook did not want to get us started, and it threw all my other platforms off. So we had to. There were 3 attempts to get us started across the board, and so we're started across the board. We had to do like a fresh broadcast. We didn't do our scheduled broadcast because we had to cancel that out. So, boom, here we are again.
3 times.
Screwed up. we are a mess. But
so those that remember the Blog Talk Radio days and all that, it's basically just like how those shows went. So.
I am not a mess. I'm doing just fine.
I'm just saying there was a mess.
I had to
give me a mess.
I had to retype my, and I didn't even think about this until the 3rd time that I could copy and paste it. But I had to retype my whole post for TikTok, or not TikTok, X, twice.
Wow.
But no, it's a good day. Cut paste is your friend on this stuff. I'm going to tell you that right now. Cut paste is your friend.
I wasn't thinking about after I typed it the first time. I was like, oh, close that out, blow that.
Wow. Well, I'll
It
tell you
happens.
what. Well, we could dwell on the rough start forever, but then we'll never get started. And we're just going to roll right on to our featured guest for today. We did have one, but we are that we posted, but we do have two in our studio here tonight. So, without further ado, we bring you two gentlemen who are part of the committee for the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. And tonight they're here. They're making media waves. They're making media stops all over the place. Multiple podcasts, even radio stations talking about this. And they are. Thank God that we are their last stop tonight. And they just had a long day. So, without further ado, we're bringing you from the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame committee itself. The media coordinator, I believe Luke Robertson, and also we got Big Jim Harris with us here tonight as well. So give them all a round of applause, if you will, please. Yes. The executive director, I'm sorry. I can't read.
All good. It's all good.
And I'm going to start off right now by saying, GQ, I take offense to your previous comment. When I first came to the ring, it was 8 tracks and mimeographed 8x10 photos.
You really had to bring that back up.
That thing is, I probably would not put past when the music was ran back then and being 8 tracks though. So
That is true. But you know something, guys? It's always a pleasure to be here on the program. I mean, again, we have been all around the world, no pun intended, not just today, but in the last week. I mean, the buzz for the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame has now reached levels that I'm going to tell you right now, in nearly 40 years in the wrestling industry, I would have never expected that any organization would reach. The Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame has had the opportunity, as of now, to have been on countless different podcasts. We're getting ready for radio shows. We got a couple print interviews in the next few days. And we have been contacted by individuals or shows from 5 countries outside of the United States already.
That's awesome.
So, again, that's one of the things when you talk about professional wrestling, and we talk about here on the program, we talk about things like the AEW and the WWE, and Jay Hollywood in the house, longtime friend, not only of the Falls Count Everywhere podcast, but longtime personal friend. Great to see Jay Hollywood here tonight, and Freddie Jack as well. But when you sit down and you look at pro wrestling, you look at the big-time promotions, you look at the multi-billion-dollar industries, and where do all those get their start? In the world of independent wrestling. And to give you an idea, for those that don't know, all 5 of us have spent a great deal of time in the world of independent professional wrestling. And tonight we're going to take, it's almost going to be like a trip down memory lane for most of us, because of all the different connections we have with the class of 2026 for the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And what a one of your great class that we have, because I've been involved with a good number of these men that are going in this year, especially with one individual that's had a long tenure as being their manager that's on our crew. And I was actually involved in my first match ever 30 years ago, almost 30 years ago. And yes, I'm aging myself, and I don't care. I mean, I got the gray hair to prove it. So, I mean, gray hair on my chin, and that's all you can see, but it's
I
still
was
hair.
about to say, where you got the hair at there?
Right here. Right here.
You're going to make fun of gray hair, and you got somebody down there who's like, no, we don't talk about the gray hair. Nope.
What are you talking, Aunt Charlie? You're looking up at the ceiling. What are you doing?
I'm going
to go back
We're doing this.
You know, as Jim Harris will verify, being the official statistician, I do have officially the longest speech in the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame history. I am nearing the lengths of where I'm like Curtis Axel, 1 year on my speech. It will end at the Hall of Fame in 2026. And again, at that point, GQ, I know you're recovering from your back injury. On a personal note, get well soon. I mean, again, I know you've been through a lot the last few days. And when we talk about the Hall of Fame, you got to get yourself ready. You got to get yourself in fine shape, because there's probably going to be sing-along time with Mr. GQ, if you know what I'm talking about, at the Hall of Fame. So we need to make sure that things are taken care of and ready to rock and roll.
But not a whole heck of a lot because of you is why we're all restricted on our times this year. I'm just saying. I mean, I went from this much to one sheet of paper because of you. I'm just saying.
My bad.
Just saying.
Hey, that was a great musical selection, man, okay? Let's not go there. Let's talk Hall of Fame right here on Falls Count Everywhere.
He knows he's still in trouble with me. He's got a long way to go.
I'm going to be in trouble with 2046. Whenever the class of 2046 is going to go, and maybe at 20 years we can let that whole thing go. But again, when we look at the Hall of Fame class of 2026, and again, this is one of the reasons why I was really, really looking forward to coming on the program tonight, because you're going to get the opportunity to have 5 individuals who know all these individuals. You've got people who've been in the ring with the majority of all these inductees, and you're going to get so many different perspectives. This is why Falls Count Everywhere is bringing such a great program to the forefront, because it's a program that knows 100% about the legacy of those Hall of Famers that are going to be recognized on Sunday, July 19th.
So why don't you take us just a few minutes back and take us back to the beginning and how the establishment of the St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame became a thing, and what is the legacy of the establishment want to proceed for the future of professional wrestling?
Before we go too much farther along, something that GQ doesn't know how to do well, I'm going to have the tag to the executive director of the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, Mr. Big Time Jim Harris, to explain the roots of the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame.
You know, he's just a classy guy, isn't he? I started this in 2018 when we started this Hall of Fame. And the goal was I was watching all these other Hall of Fames going on, and some of the things that we're missing was that we were not honoring the people that made wrestling what it was for us. So when I brought this on, of course, you had to put on the 2 top promoters at that time. And so we were kind of sneaky how we did it. We were putting Tony Costa in, and I got a hold of Herb to help me do the sneak introduction when we brought him in. And Herb did a great job of helping me get it done, get it together. But what Herb didn't know was we were putting him in as well. So I pulled off a double sneak that night. So we were able to get Drew up there, and Drew helped introduce Herb into the Hall, and we got both the top promoters at that time in the Hall of Fame. So it made sense to make them the first 2. They're the ones that help a lot of the guys that are out there that they're the legacy of the wrestling in the St. Louis area at that time. So as it went on, we started saying, I didn't want to limit it down to just the wrestlers, because how did the wrestlers get where they were at? Well, you had to have guys like Pete Parisi, who got us on the cable, because there wasn't a whole lot of cable going on. A lot of the shows weren't getting on TV or stuff like that. So Pete Parisi was one of the first ones to really get us recognized on the cables. So we have a Pete Parisi award just for that reason. So that's all the guys in the background that did all the work that got us on the air. The people are putting up the rings, and guys that were promoting, the managers that were out there busting their humps to get these people out there and get the fans on board, you know. So we said we had to honor those folks. And then John Blackheart came along, you know. Everybody knows John Blackheart. Somewhere along the line, you trained with him. And if you didn't train with him, he whipped the hell out of you in the ring one time or another, you know. So when John came aboard, we did the John Blackheart Award, and that's kind of like honoring those people that were given their all but didn't get that opportunity to stay in the ring long, or got injured severely and they couldn't come back, but had the heart to do the wrestling. And then you go on even farther. So, okay, well, we had a few more going on. Everybody knows Jerry Bullion, right?
Yeah.
If you don't know Jerry Bullion, then you're not from St. Louis Wrestling.
Yeah.
So when you look at that stuff and you look at Jerry Bullion, what show didn't he go to? Him and the Menders and all that, they went to just about every show that independent show that's out there. And Jerry Bullion's the one that gave me a lot of grief on a regular basis. Every chance he got, he'd yell at me and scream at me, and that was pretty awesome. So we wanted to honor those people that helped make us be what we were, and was the reason why we kept coming back to do what we did. So we made a Jerry Bullion Award, and yes, Jerry gave me the referee. You couldn't count to 5 if you needed to. I said, you mean 1, 2, 5, and that's what started that whole thing. I did that to Jerry, and the next thing I know, the next match, and everybody in the crowd was going, "Hey, 1, 2, 5!" I'm like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!"
Awesome.
So yeah, Jerry kept that thing going the whole time. So that was my wonderful legacy from Jerry Bullion, and loved it to death. It made an awesome person. So you're going to see different awards like that popping up, coming up, and then we created this year the President's Award, which is recognizing people for what they have given to us. And again, some of those folks are no longer with us, and because of the short tenure they had, but they had such a fast-paced career that was really on the way up. And so how do you honor those people? You go back and look and say, what did they give to the wrestling world? What did they give to the independent circuit? Give back to the community. All that plays a part in when we look at this stuff. So my thing was to honor those legacies and honor those people that made the path for all of us to where we're at now. Because think about it. Where do all the big stars come from in WWE, TNA, and all those places? They all started at the independent circuit.
Mm-hmm.
And without the independent circuit and the promoters like Herb and Tony and Big Bad Ben and Crystal and Jim and all those guys, we don't exist, right? They don't have what they need to have. And then when those guys get up there and they make the show and they're doing the big thing, but then when those careers are over, where do they go back to? They come back to the independent show.
Mm-hmm.
So I always talk about, it's about being humble, be respectful, and remember where you came from, because that's usually where you're going to end up back at the end of your career. And those are the people that come and keep giving to the wrestlers and training and teaching people and passing on the knowledge. Because when I was doing training down at the old MMWA gym, that was the thing, you gave back. We didn't charge people for the training, we gave back to them and trained them for the next generation. So that's the way it was done, and that's the way we used to be. I'm very old school. I was taught to be old school, and I always will be old school. And Herb, I don't know why you're upset with me, but we'll be okay. We'll talk later.
The sneak attack. I mean,
yeah, I saw that. Did that one in on me. But you put a big LOL behind it. I know we're good. So.
Yeah,
I mean, Herb has been sneak attacks on so many Hall of Fames now. Apparently, even the St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, and he had to have his wife actually tell him shut up and take it. On that induction though. So.
Yeah, so it's and that was my whole thing. That's legacy going forward. Did GQ fall down?
He used duct tape the wrong way, so apparently
he taped himself to the camera and pulled down.
Mr. GQ,
what you got?
Experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
The ultimate pepper card. You made a terrible joke and then got smacked away.
There you go.
The camera just said, "Peace, bitch. I'm out." So.
Right. So the legacy is we're going to keep honoring and respecting those people that came before us and led the way, and we're a huge part of St. Louis wrestling. Because like we were talking, and we say this 100 times, there is no wrestling without STL, right? Because everything wrestling was here in St. Louis is the biggest hub. And I remember Herb used to tell us, Larry told us all that, it's like, if they made it to St. Louis and they were able to get on the show, then they knew they made it, So Sam Mushnick made that possible, and Larry and all those guys. And it's an honor that I could say I worked with Larry, Mickey, and all those guys. And I had the honor of training with Ed Smith and all those guys. And Ed kept me in line, and we won't say what Ed used to say to me when I screwed up. So,
you probably took Ed's chops, though.
Oh, a few times, yeah. So, yeah, I'm still. Yeah, now you mentioned, now my chest hurt. Jesus, come on, I just got over that stuff.
Hold on one second, because I'm actually going to grab something real quick.
I hope to kind of answer your question there, Gem City.
That was good. Yeah, that was a good one.
There you go. And I think, wow.
It's me next, but I was going to show this real quick.
Yeah,
that would be sitting at the Hall of Fame this year too.
Awesome.
I'll be loaning that to some techno guy and everything to show off. So
GQ, one of the things that you bring up, which is a very valid point, what makes the Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame stand out is not only the recognitions of the wrestlers who have paved the way for the next generation of professional wrestling, but we're also looking at the idea of looking back at the artifacts, looking back at the true history of the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. There are so many different items, so many different pieces, and you go back, you look at the WWE, they're looking at their most wanted treasures. We are thankful that many of the things that we, as independent wrestlers in the St. Louis area, we have so much access to the things that are there. I mean, again, you look at things like we have this year, and Jim and I have been working very hard with our fellow inductee, the one, the only Sadie Blaze. We will have on display the last pair of boots from one of our inductees.
Oh, sweet.
We will have a headdress from Hall of Famer Jeremy Lightfoot. We're going to have a variety of different T-shirts from different eras. You can talk about organizations like Foreplay. You can talk about individuals like Izzy Blackwell and Power Trip. You can talk about URL. You can talk about PYT. There are so many different artifacts to show how professional wrestling has taken place here in St. Louis. And as Jim said, when it comes down to it, St. Louis has always been one of the top places. And when you have wrestlers like Ric Flair and others who step up and say, if you made it to St. Louis, you've made it somewhere. And these individuals, I mean, again, you could go all day long in those that have taken St. Louis as the opportunity to move to the very top of the professional wrestling industry. And if you go back and ask them, where'd you get your start? They will proudly say the STL.
Agreed. So we know that there are some requirements on certain roles that take into consideration on getting into the Hall of Fame. But what are the better characteristics that are strive to look for in each candidate, and why those specific traits?
GQ, that's actually an awesome question. I thank you for bringing that forward. In my opinion, when I look for a Hall of Famer, I look at a lot of what Jim has said. What did you do for the industry? What have you done to make this a memory, not only for your fellow wrestlers, but for the fans as well? I also look at it from a perspective too. And GQ, Ruby, Miz, you guys have been around. We've all heard the horror stories of individuals who step up and, oh, I got to be the biggest and baddest, and I got to be at the top tier 3 matches into my career, and I'm not going to go out there and do this and this and this because that doesn't fit me. You know what? No. That's not what being a professional is. You go out there, you do what's assigned to you, you honor the commitments that you make, and you let people enjoy what the sport, quote Shane Douglas, by the way, the sport of professional wrestling truly is. Anybody who stepped in that 20 by 20 squared circle knows exactly what it takes to be a competitor. And we've seen people whine and cry and complain all the time. But to me, I think the biggest thing is when people go back and they look, you always hear, what do you wish your career to be? What would you want to be for the picture of your career? Your career should speak for itself. And if your career can do that, that sets it up for me for a strong consideration for the Hall of Fame. Jim?
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is that we look at, like Luke said, we look at the past and what they've done, and we have historians, believe it or not, we do have some historians researching and vetting these people. And, we don't want to put people in that didn't deserve to be there. We have to make sure that they belong there. Like even with me, when I started this, I did not put myself into the Hall of Fame. I'd said there's a lot of people that we're missing that need to be in here like now. Let's get them in. And somewhere down the line, the board did a backdoor sneak on me and put me in the Hall. And
no, never, Jim. Never.
Okay. Don't say never. We know better. We're moving on. Uh, like I said, and I'm thankful and grateful, and it's an honor and privilege to have your peers put you into something like this. And so my thing is show the professionalism, show the common courtesy in the ring with your opponents. Something simple as just we all know when before we got in the ring, what did you do before you got to the ring when you got up on that apron? What's the tradition? We wipe our feet before we get into the ring, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how many people have you seen now that you're not wrestling anymore and you get to watch them more? How many people you see not doing that basic tradition? I see a lot. And that's kind of shown me that there's no respect for that ring and the people that came before you. So I kind of look at stuff like that. I look at what they give me historical wise, matches, locations, places. Then I go also back, like I said earlier, what did you do to give back to the community? Because we did a lot of different things. I don't, Rick, you were around when we did I was doing the teddy bear collection once a year. So I would have the fans bring teddy bears in. And the reason we did that was because we gave the teddy bears to all the first responders. So when they went to a scene where there was a child involved, they had something to give to that child to help with that trauma. Mm-hmm. So we did that for several years now, including Big Tony did the Marine Corps stuff with Toys for Tots. And, we did a lot of stuff to give back to the community. And so my thing is, what do you do to give back that supported and helped the industry? And there's a lot in play and a lot of information that crosses our table in these meetings, and we do a lot of back and forth, and then it gets down to the nitty gritty when you get like 10, 15 names and you got to narrow them down. Then it starts, now you're chopping away at them. And you got to think, well, maybe next year, or no, we're going to look at this one a little bit differently, or something pops up and says, hey, this happened. We this is a DQ for this guy, so or gal. So it's a lot involved, more than people realize that a board really has to do to get these people through. But we want to vet and put the proper people through and show that we're a legitimate Hall of Fame.
Something too, and again, a lot of people talk about, and this is going to be a completely unique offshoot here. I know for a fact that all of us follow the NCAA tournament. Am I correct with that? In some form or another? Okay.
No.
But when you sit there and you put a tournament together of 64 people or 64 teams, there's going to be decisions where you're going to get into it. Okay, we've got 4 spots and we've got 10 people or 10 teams that are deserving of those spots. I'm going to tell you right now, when we were putting together the class of 2026, we were sitting in that room, and Jim, I'm not going to lie to anybody here. We were, about 4.5, 5 hours?
Easily, yeah.
To get everything broke down to 8 this year.
And actually, it was like 2 different meetings. It didn't happen in one meeting. We've had 2 or 3 meetings. And this one, I think, was 3 meetings before we finally came down to our final list. And it was 4 or 5 hours each.
And that's one of those, when you sit there and look at it, one of the other things to look at too here, and we were looking at it prior to the show tonight, 200 plus years of wrestling experience. And that's for the inductees. There are others that if we would have had that, we could have been 350 years. And when you look at those individuals who are a part of the class of 2026, I think for the most part, not only are you going to be very impressed with the class, but you're also going to see, as Jim said, that wide variety. It's not just one particular promotion. There are countless different promotions throughout the St. Louis area set. The Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. You cover all promotions, you cover all avenues of this industry, just like today. There are countless different, you want to see mat wrestling, you can go here, here, or here. You want to see the hardcore style, you can go here, here, or here. You want to see the aerial acrobats that can do 1.5 flips and land on a dime, you got that. But that's one of the things that makes St. Louis so unique, is the wide variety of wrestling styles. And the class of 2026 is no exception when it comes to that class and those abilities.
And we shine that too. If you look at our belt, which I'm sure Luke has not far from him, when we did the belt and the inception of the belt, there's a whole lot of wrestling groups on those belts. It's not a name of the Hall of Fame people that we put in. It's all of the different groups, wrestlers and groups. So we got MWA, SICW, WOW, all those different groups, Dynamo. They're all on that belt. So each one of the panels have a wrestling group on it, and it's a whole bunch of mine. Luke, how many was on there? I forgot how many we had on there.
Right now, there are 32 on the belt, and to give you an idea, just to throw some names out there, you look at promotions that may not necessarily get the credit they deserve. Promotions like Midwest Powerhouse Wrestling. You look at promotions like an IEW. You look at a place like Central Championship Wrestling. Everybody remembers the world-renowned Carol Brown. And when it comes down to it, I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. We've actually had to have discussions, and a shout out to Doomed Outfitters, the company that made the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame Championship. If you want to get a belt done, you want to get a belt made for anything, Doomed Outfitters can take whatever your ideas are and they can make it happen. And they can make it happen not on a chintzy avenue. They can do it on a budget that you can work with. And I'll tell you right now, 100% here in the USA, they're housed out of the great state of Georgia. And again, we've actually talked with them about actually having to have a modified, not a new belt, but a modified belt, because we're getting to the point right now, if you look at St. Louis history, you're nearing a point where you may have to have a 7-plate belt to truly acknowledge all of the wrestling promotions that have been in this area. And again, that shows why STL to this day, whether you talk about 75 years ago or now, is still the hotbed of professional wrestling on the independent scene.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, everybody's going to go to the East Coast, but if you want to go history of professional wrestling, especially when it got when it got started in the 20th century with the NWA, with Sam Munchnip being the NWA president for like 41 years, keeping everything here centralized in St. Louis, and that's how you made your name. That's how you got noticed by anybody else. When you're going out to other territories, and like I said, St. Louis, of course, definitely still recognized today, especially with NWA still going on today. I mean, yeah, of course, it's a different ownership and everything else, but when you hear NWA, you can't, you got to think of St. Louis in the St. Louis Wrestling Club being part of that. So, regards to this year's ceremony, though, looking at of course, if you look on your website, which is istlwhof.com, and you do have a list of your awards, and it's interesting that looking at your inductees this year, you have 2 inductees that are receiving the President's Award. So what does the President's Award represent for this particular Hall of Fame institution? And tell us about the 2 candidates that are going in with the award this year.
You know, Ruby, that was a perfect connection here, because you're going to see the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame tag team here, because Jim's going to talk about the expectations and talk about one of the inductees, and I'll talk about the other. So, Jim, do you want to talk about the importance and the significance of the President's Award?
Yeah, well, the President's Award was that it was again, like I said earlier, a way for me to go back and look at some of the people that were getting overlooked, or certain things were given to me or told to me, or I research it, or I have my guys research and get back to me. And the idea of the President's Award is to honor and respect those people that some careers were short, some were a little bit longer, but they weren't recognized. They gave the time, the energy, and showed that they had every right to be in any Hall of Fame. And then some of these guys, a lot of them are no longer here with us. Well, President Ward is pretty much the who's no longer here, but we still want to honor them and their their legacies to say. And one of those guys that are going in is Johnny Ramirez. Uh, Anybody that's been around the business for a while knows Johnny Ramirez. Uh, Johnny was a big part of the NWA. He was did a lot of different locations, areas. He worked out as a referee. He worked with the Rest of the Chase group as well. And when you go back and look at his history, uh, man, he wrestled so many amazing people. He wrestled Greg's father. He wrestled the Longtime family. He's been around, and he's a big part of the St. Louis wrestling scene as well. He did different stuff for different promotions, and Johnny's no longer with us, and we felt that his legacy of what he carried, and I had the honor when I retired, and Larry was calling my last match. That was on the SICW Wrestling Explosion, and it was aired. I want to say it was January 2014, and one of the names that Larry threw out that I felt so honored was that he considered me along the lines of the legacies of Johnny Ramirez because of the years of wrestling and refereeing and stuff that I did. So to me, it was like an honor for me to give back to the referees that a lot of times get overlooked. That third man in the ring can make a match or can break a match, and if they know what they're doing, they make the match pretty amazing. And you're going to see probably in the messages here soon if Herb's still on. Herb's got a whole history on Johnny, so I always refer back to Herb for the deep stuff. But that's one of the guys going in. And again, the President Award was for those who are no longer here, who have carried that legacy and have every right to be in the Hall of Fame. And like I said, again, we verified everything, we checked everything, and I didn't know Johnny Ramirez like I liked to have known him, but I got to see a lot of his stuff, and amazing man, just amazing man. And I'll let Luke tag in Luke for the next one.
To give you an idea, too, as we look at what's there, when you look at the President's Award, one name that stands out to me is the late valedictorian Keon Option. Now, here's a man that a lot of us didn't necessarily have the opportunity to be in the ring with. But in the course of his 6+ years in the professional wrestling industry, you cannot find a promoter that he ever wrestled with that could say a bad word about Keon Option. Whether you talk about SICW, you talk about WLW, you talk about High Risk, you talk about Dynamo Pro, you talk about New Breed, any promotion that had Keon Option on the bill, you knew you were getting a class act. And besides all of his accomplishments in the ring, and a lot of people look at professional wrestling and say, oh, you have to win championship belts or you have to wrestle international superstars. Keon Option only held one championship, and that was one half of the Dynamo Pro Tag Championships. But one of the things that stood out to me was how genuine he was, both inside and outside the ring. Inside the ring, as we all well know, you got to have that gladiator mentality. You got to go out there and you got to put it all on the line. But one of the things that Jim brought up was, what else have you contributed? And Keon Option did so much. He was in college. He was national president of his Christian fraternity at the University of Missouri. He was president of the University of Missouri's student chapter of the NAACP. He ran for the Missouri House of Representatives. And actually, he was an officer candidate for the Army National Guard. And sadly, his passing was during a training exercise at the age of 30. And when you sit down and you look at all the things that Keon Option brought to the table, Keon Option was a man's man. If you go back, Dynamo Pro, when he passed away, put together a very, very fitting tribute for Keon Option. And when you hear the likes of Mike Outlaw, you hear the likes of an Adrian Surge, a Luke Roberts, a Camaro Jackson, a Ricky Rodriguez, of a Big Vic. Keon Option was an individual, and if you had a chance to look at our video announcing Keon's induction as a member of the President's Award, Remy George did it best when he said if his kids could be even a fraction of what Keon Option was as a human being, he would consider himself a very proud man. And to have Keon Option in the Hall of Fame under the President's Award, I'm going to tell you right now, for me, I feel it's well overdue. And again, it's going to be my honor and privilege to tell you how far it is. Myself and Big Vic, two men who for years have been other ends of the locker room in Dynamo Pro Wrestling. When the two of us can put our differences aside to induct Keon Option into the Hall of Fame this year, you can show how much of an impact the valedictorian made on the fans, on the locker room, on professional wrestling, and the world as a whole.
Very well put.
Damn.
Yeah, very, very well put. And yeah, I mean, to remember those that have done a lot in this business and are no longer with us. So sometimes we do have to kind of take a step back, maybe just kind of collect ourselves and just remember the best that they've contributed to this business. And those two gentlemen definitely do deserve this honor. And looking forward to seeing, at least to kind of seeing that presentation of what they have. So.
Well, Ruby, I want to step in here for just a second because I want to take a minute and talk about the next two inductees. And the reason why is because of their contributions. But I want to bring up something which I'm going to tell you right now. Everybody who listens Falls Count Everywhere is going to be shocked with what I have to say. The next two inductees we're going to talk about, first we're going to talk about is Big Bad Ben. There were people that loved Big Bad Ben. There were people that disliked Big Bad Ben. But one thing, and I'll tell you right now, one of our broadcast colleagues here on this program tonight has made the comment that even if you didn't necessarily get along with his ideas, you didn't believe what he believed in, you cannot discredit what Big Bad Ben brought to St. Louis wrestling. Just the legacy alone. You talk about Dingo, Matt Seidel, Delirious, Daisy Hayes, Mischief. Imagine what wrestling would be like if those five individuals don't make an impact, don't make the connection to the world of professional wrestling. And all of them were given that opportunity from a man the likes of Big Bad Ben. And there are even some today, when you look at it, I'm going to throw another couple out there. Gary J., a man who spent a lot of time in St. Louis Anarchy, but now is traveling the world in later stages of his career. Pierre Abernathy took a huge risk in NWL and still making sure that St. Louis Anarchy is making their statement and continuing their strides in the world of professional wrestling. And that long connection with professional wrestling all ties back to Big Bad Ben. And to give you an idea, when the induction ceremony takes place, you know it's a big to-do if you follow St. Louis wrestling. If the Human Wrecking Ball Pete Madden, a fellow member of the Hall of Fame, is going to do his induction, you know that's a big deal. Now, the other posthumous inductee we have this year is every lady's fantasy Marcus Mansfield. A man that GQ, Miz, Ruby, we've all been up and down the roads with him. And to quote Jim Cornette, he's a Hall of Fame mentionee. He's a WWE documentary mentionee.
One of my favorite vets when I got into business.
Very true. Mm-hmm. And again, if it wouldn't have been for Marcus Mansfield, you don't see Angus King. Angus King doesn't become Kane. Kane doesn't make it to St. Louis for Bad Blood. And you don't see Kane in the WWE Hall of Fame. Now, here's where I'm going to shock some people. And GQ, I'm going to warn you, and I'm not trying to be sarcastic here. I'm being serious. You might want to hold on to your chair here. I know you're recovering from back surgery. Last night, I had the privilege of being at NGW. and I mentioned the inductees, and again, shout out to multiple Hall of Famers, Moondog Rover, Peggy Minder, the Irish Devil, Doug O'Shea, all in attendance. So they'll verify what I'm about to say here. I mentioned that Marcus Mansfield was one of the founding members of PYT, which is true. He was one of the very early members of PYT.
Yeah.
And when I mention that, as much as PYT is despised in St. Louis, they actually got a round of applause. In one of the most exciting up-and-coming events for NGW, their 4-year anniversary, Melee and Mascuda 4, where you have great wrestling from top to bottom. PYT and Marcus Mansfield get applause. That shows the respect that the fans have for Marcus Mansfield, the respect they have for PYT, as crazy as it sounds, and respect for professional wrestling and what the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame is trying to do with recognizing those of the past.
And not only that, Marcus was one. He started at least 2 groups in the area. One still running today. He helped start ACW, which is currently still running today. You know, even though somebody don't have the tag belts anymore.
Wow, why did you shout? Okay.
And, yeah. Well, I had to.
Just
and
load
then
the
you
gun
also
more.
have,
Why don't you? I mean, screw it.
And then you had Midwest Powerhouse Wrestling, Missouri Powerhouse Wrestling. They were one that he helped start with Chris Powell, and I think that was the only 2 then at that time.
Got another one for you, and actually I want to give a shout out to Marcus Mansfield's wife, Carla, for this one. Doing our research as a member of the Hall of Fame, he actually got the blessing to start CSWA, which as many people know kind of had its connections with the wonderful world of RCW, but actually got the okay to start that after many consultations and discussions with the late Bob Geigel.
Ooh.
Yep.
So, again, if you're going to look back at
So
the
that's
history of
3.
St. Louis wrestling, you're going to look at the tradition. Another reason why Marcus Mansfield needs to be in the Hall of Fame. And guys, I'm going to take a little tangent here because the last time I saw Mark in a ring was back in 2005 for a promotion called Mid-America Extreme Pro Wrestling. Shout out to Alan, by the way, for joining us here tonight from Florida.
You don't have to shout him out.
But again, having him be in the ring, and this is one, and I'm a level with you, probably other than Ruby. I don't know if anybody else will remember this name, but one that I would definitely want to consider is seeing early in my career Marcus Mansfield and Bad Bubba Baker.
Yeah.
Those 2 men.
Wow, that's not even one. That's one I don't even know offhand. So
Bad Bubba Baker was one of those, and I'm going to level with it. I'm going to pull that curtain. Okay, I'm not pulling. I'm just ripping it and pulling it off the curtain right here. I remember an event with Bad Bubba Baker. Bad Bubba Baker was so good and so smooth. An 8-match event in Union, Missouri. Bad Bubba Baker managed to wrestle 3 out of 8 matches as 3 different personas, and nobody knew who they were.
I'm still more impressed with how badass that name is.
And you know something. I mean, again, that shows with the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. And if you go look at the website, istlwhof.com, not only can you get tickets, not only can you look at the recognitions that they've gotten, look at all of those inductees, and just to let you know, with the 2026 class, there's going to be a major overhaul coming. Jim and I have talked about it. Nikki O'Shaughnessy, our assistant executive director, has talked about it. There's going to be a huge overhaul coming in the next few weeks, right at the conclusion of the 2026 Hall of Fame. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're now starting to actually be able to get into the bios, the history, the people telling the story. As wrestlers, we tell the story. But now we're going to get the opportunity to actually put the pen to paper and start actually documenting the history of those individuals. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you sit down and look at it, those 4 right there is enough to make the 2026 Hall of Fame class special. But we got 4 more inductees, and I'm going to tell you right now, all 4 of them are ones that we could sit here. We could have a 4-hour show tonight talking about the remaining 4. And gentlemen, I know you all know them. Jim and I do. So let's just kind of rip the Band-Aid off here, and let's look at one of those 4 inductees. You gentlemen call it, and let's kind of have our roundtable discussion about the remaining 4 inductees, because all of them deserve to be on the list this year.
Okay. All right.
So
You thought he never stopped talking, didn't you, Dave?
I was like, wait a minute, Rob. He took a breath. He took a drink. Wait a minute. We could talk for a second here. Okay.
Then, no. I was gonna say. So you have 4 more coming. So I mean, there's already 8 that are posted that are going in. So there's 4 more that's going to be going in.
Correct. You have the 4 we've talked about, and you have the 4 more who we've already got confirmation. All 4 of them will be in the house. And I think right now, if I'm not mistaken, and this is going to sound crazy, but I do believe that GQ has the distinction of being in the ring in some form or another with all 4
He hurt himself.
of these inductees.
Wait a
Now
minute. Hold on.
He's going to pat his
Beast?
shoulder.
No, I'm not. That'll hurt. Let's see. Beast, Butch Fletcher.
2,
Oh crap. Tom Simon.
3.
I'm blanking out. Why am I blanking out? This stinks.
I only started in
Imagine
2018,
me with
so I'm
biceps.
hoping for you.
And a cowboy
Well, there's
hat.
no way. There's no way in hell you'd be. Oh, Steve. Oh yeah. Yeah. That.
Oh,
I
Steve
still
Montana.
feel some of his hits. Steve Montana. Yeah.
Yeah, Montana. My bad.
And again, we could be here for the next 3 hours on that. So, you know what? Z-Miz, you've heard the 4 of them. Tom Simon, Beast, Steve Montana, Butch Fletcher. You take the floor. Which one do you think we should talk about first in the Hall of Fame class of 2026?
I mean, the only 2 I've really met is Beast and Steve, so I'd have to go with one of those guys, and both have been really kind to me as vets in the business, helping.
Okay, well,
You know, I'm going Beast because it's GQ's right-hand man almost.
GQ, you know what it's time for, my friend.
What, buffets closing on us and everything?
No.
That's disrespectful.
Not
You're so-
unusual to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone. And I'm going to be
Why
paying
did
for
I
that when he
kinda
comes
like
in for that one.
that? Yeah, why did I kind of like that?
That's no.
Hey, the Friday of the Friday of the Hall of Fame weekend, I can guarantee he'll be at a place that we know of singing karaoke.
And you know
I
something?
can guarantee because I'm the driver.
And we ain't talked about his dance, too.
That's becoming the unofficial start of the Hall of Fame weekend, and maybe very well, we may have to make an announcement on that, because I know there are several Hall of Famers that may very well be joining the Beast as we celebrate the Hall of Fame weekend. GQ, we're going to throw it out here. You have the privilege of inducting the Beast into the Hall of Fame. What can you say when you found out after talking with Beast that he was going in the Hall of Fame? What was his reaction? And what was your reaction to being asked to induct him?
I cried, definitely. I mean, because throughout the almost 30 years, he was a part of it since the beginning with me, and he helped me through a whole heck of a lot. And there was so much. Again, because your speech from last year is still going on, Rob. Luke, I mean, sorry. Sorry. My speech I was going to induct him with went from this down to a sheet of paper. And it was hard to condense everything into that. Plus, I had to make it fan-friendly because we know so many stories of Beast that's not fan-friendly. Whether it's from jumping into showers at hotel rooms or or walking out, like, you know, destroying a cowboy hat of somebody because the guy was saying inappropriate stuff backstage, and it getting more violent. And we're just not going to mention it, but Ruby said the name in our private chat. And there was just, I mean, there was just so much with it, and it I've inducted a few people into some of the Hall of Fames, like Izzy, Butch in the RCW one, and the guy right there below me, I also inducted and everything. And this one is the most overwhelming of them all. Well, for one, I can't surprise him with a shirt that says something of an old gimmick like I did with that one. But it was hard to put it into words. It took me forever, and I got it sitting there, and I still keep changing everything on it that I want to say or talk about, and timing it, because I know Jim's going to be there with a stopwatch and all this. Don't you better not go over this time now.
Stop watching the sledgehammer.
And there was just so much with Beast over the years, driving all the roads through Missouri and Illinois and everything together, and all the stories that some can't be told, some have been put in the song, but like
chili and grits.
No, not even that. Walking into a redneck bar in the middle of Lima, Missouri, and all of a sudden the jukebox stops and everybody starts looking at the door, and I just realized that Beast was the only black person walking into the bar at that time. And I'm like, oh, this is not going to be fun. But my dad was there. Everything was good till we found out that they said afterwards, they got their own places to go to. So me and Beast were trying to recruit other people like Steve Sharp, and when Mabel was coming into town, have him say, "Wait, let's go down this road to this bar from occasions and everything. Let's go see how they react on that one." But I mean, Beast there's so many stories of Beast, and he's earned every single accolade he gets and will get, 100%, with all of his travels throughout it's almost 40 years almost, wasn't it?
Yeah.
34, 36, something along the
Something
line.
like 36, I believe, yeah.
I mean, he was on TV before any of us were with NVWA. He was on TV with that, I can't think of the group, American
AWF?
Wrestling Federation?
Yeah, the
AWF. AWF, yes. Well, actually, no, Beast wasn't on there. It was Hubert Simpson.
Yeah.
And then I heard on one of the other promotional things you guys did, the whole story with the scorpions on his parts right here, which I'm not going to say because I'll pepper car myself twice for that one. I mean, there's just so much with him and all that he's deserving of it. I mean, 100%. And I'll pass it down to this one here, who's been in the ring with him many, 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 many times.
Oh man, gosh, yeah. I've got a small book with just our in-ring history with Beast alone. I mean, we're talking, like I say, he was in my first match, even beating me to a pulp somewhat even after the match by receiving 2 Beast bombs. And, of course, a suicide plancha by Disco Joe that was stiff and broke my fall right on my chest, and I could barely breathe. And, yeah, that was great. Great initiation. Thanks, Beast. And then, of course, years down the road, having many dog collar matches and just, hardcore matches as well. And, it was fun. It was fun. Beast was very fun to work with. I mean, probably one of the most devastating looking moves that he's had. And you wouldn't even know that he looked like he killed you, but he didn't. So he let you live. So
yeah, he got a fork stuck in my head and all that. I never even knew it and all that. So I saw the blood coming out. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, but I mean, I've stories of Beast, with some incidences that happened with him, or just on the road, just hearing about the road stories with him, just even after the shows when we had to stop by like a restaurant establishment of some sort, or maybe not making it, and I mean,
so many wanted to close on him. So many wanted the waitresses wanted to quit when he put in his order. I mean, it was just always fun.
Looks at one side of the menu. You're like, okay, I'll have it.
Gentlemen, I'm just going to throw it this way. And there was a time, and GQ, you know this. Imagine when Billy Bobbio and Little Mo D walk into a restaurant together. They made more than a fair share of making sure that the wait staff was going to make a good amount of money that night. So,
I remember just one incident in the lovely state of Indiana, which nothing's ever gone good there. We walk into a restaurant and he orders. This is the night before Thanksgiving, by the way, too. Orders not one, not two, not three, but 4 full dinners for himself. The waitress was nervous when she had to come back and tell him they were out of spare ribs. She went to the other end and said, would he be upset? And we said, you go talk to him. We're not involved in this. You go talk to him.
Well, guys, I'm going to throw one more story out here about Beast before we move on. There was a promoter we talked about earlier on the show, Carol Brown. Again, a man who I really
I'm out.
Somewhere down the road is going to be one day a Hall of Famer, in my honest opinion. But I remember there was an individual who thought he was the greatest thing ever. He even tried to tell Randy Orton how wrestling was.
Oh, Lord.
That's mistake number one. Number two.
Me and Ruby know who this is.
Yeah. And out of respect, I'm not going to mention any names right now. But
anyway.
But in the process of it all, he took liberties in the ring with me. And Ruby, GQ, Jim, I'm probably one of the most laid-back guys when it comes to being in-ring that you can have. If you're going to go in there, you're going to have a good, solid match. And I remember Beast, who really didn't know me too well at the time. He'd known me through mutual channels. He had being the road warrior that he is, he had different things in his gear bag and managed to help me get my knee to function after he tried to break my leg. And all I heard, it was a battle royal, and all I heard in between bouts of growls and grunts and most things from Beast, I hear, move. And I proceed to watch Beast single-handedly maul this guy. And I'll tell you this, Beast is not a little guy. But I remember seeing the guy who took liberties with me going over the top rope in the Battle Royal. His feet were kicking in air. Had no chance whatsoever to catch himself going over the top rope. And he was able to deliver that message. And when it comes down to it, Beast, for all the craziness, for all the insane things he's done inside the squared circle, is genuinely 100% one of the greatest people I've ever had the privilege to meet inside the ring. I think we're all in agreement on that. And I'm going to tell you right now, on Sunday, July 19th, at Andre's Banquet Center, I know, Ruby, you're going to probably shed a few tears and a whole bunch of laughs. GQ, I know you're going to. I am as well. Z-Miz will as well. The Beast being in the 2026 Hall of Fame class was truly a no-brainer, at least in this guy's opinion. So, gentlemen, we got 3 more to talk about. All 3 of them have a lot to go with. Ruby, you got the 3 that are left. We talk about Butch, do we talk about Tom, or do we talk about Steve Montana?
Yeah. Yeah, so Butch Fletcher. I will lay here with let's get started with Butch. I think for Butch Fletcher, for me personally, I think it's been way overdue for Butch. He's put in his years, he's put in his advice, his expertise, his skill as a manager. To me, when I was watching him, even when I was still in high school, still wanting to get in the business, watching him in his baby blue blazer with the ruffles and all that, the black glove. I mean, the dude just personified, arrogance, and coming out the big time by Peter Gabriel. I mean, dude just had it all. I mean, he really personified confidence as a manager and was a good manager. I mean, between him and Big Al Stevens, holy cow, those 2 were competing for the number 1 heel spot in that time. And Butch just, of course, he was a referee to start off with down on Broadway and everything, but he was just a great. He was just a great manager, great advice as far as ring presence, and he would definitely make anybody just mad in the crowd. I mean, he just had that spark to just he could look at you the wrong way and get you mad. that's how good Butch was, and like I said, he's still very opinionated today. He still has good he still has good opinions about this business, and like I say, to see Butch go in, like I said, it's way overdue, and definitely well deserved, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree. Actually, Butch, though, his first start in the business was not the referee. It was actually photography. And he had taken some pictures of Muchnick and them. And I think one of them got into the old snapshot, which I got to loan those to you also, Luke. The old snapshots thing that shows some pictures and everything. I think there was the famous stairwell photo of Sam that's been published quite a few times and everything like that. He got to start with that. And then, as you said, with the refereeing, and then with the managing, and then a couple times in the ring. I mean, he managed somebody that went on to WWE. I mean, he managed Angus King at one time. And then he started a wrestling promotion. And Max, I ended up being his right-hand man with that. And that was probably the most unique experience around, especially when Max started becoming hated number one group in the area because we were doing something different and unique with everything. And Butch fought tooth and nail. He had a training center for it. It gave the start to some people. Some people may not like some of the people that got their start that way, but they're going well now and all that, especially being a great promotion right now. And so Butch gave a lot back to everything out there. He gave 1,000% to everything he did. I mean, there's still some towns in Missouri and Illinois and all that you mentioned Butch Fletcher and all that, they're going to chase you out of town. I mean, so he's just still hated, but loved at the same time. I mean, because he was good at what he did.
Very true, GQ. And you know something? I'm going to throw this out here. When you look at professional wrestling and you look at managers in St. Louis, and I'm going to level with you right now. I'm going to get some flack here, but I'm okay. I've been around long enough. It's nothing new to me. If you want to look at a Mount Rushmore of wrestling managers in St. Louis, I got 4 right now. Butch Fletcher, Al Stevens, Big Daddy, and the 4th one, gotta say, Travis Cook.
100%.
Those 4, yeah. You know that there's going to be some hot times in professional wrestling, and I'm going to tell you right now, and my views of Butch. And again, I've known the Fletcher family for a long time. And again, shout out to Butch, his wife Pam, who, if you think Butch is loud, let Pam be loud. It's going to be a story in itself there. But I've said countless times, I had a pretty good career when Max came around. I was really thinking about, and GQ knows, I was thinking about hanging him up and calling it a career. I'd had a good 10, 11, 12 years in the industry. But Butch kind of was one of those where, and I heard it mentioned last night by Mustafa Ali at New Genesis, Butch Fletcher was one of those that reignited my passion for professional wrestling. He gave me a chance, he fired me back up, and now, 20 years later, when I'm looking and I'm knocking on the doorstep of 40 years being around pro wrestling, Butch Fletcher was that guy. He could go out there, he could incite a riot, but he is just one of the most genuine people I've ever had the opportunity to meet. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've got one day coming up in the not too near distant future where I'm going to get to spend a day, not just with the 2026 inductee Butch Fletcher, but get a chance to spend a day with my friend, Butch Fletcher. And I'm going to tell you right now, we've got some media appearances scheduled, but I know for a fact that Butch and I both are preparing. We're going to go at least have one good meal together and talk about old times. And that's going to set everything up for June 19th. Now, gentlemen, I'm going to throw the next one here. Tom Simon. I'm going to tell you right now, Jim doesn't believe me. We've had arguments about this, and I'm totally fine with it. Tom Simon is going to take away my record for the longest speech in Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame history, but I think it's very rightfully so. When you have a man who back in the late 90s was able to successfully organize a referee strike in the world of professional wrestling, it actually got an MVWA event canceled because there was no licensed official that could get into the building. And Lukinoff's office actually said, you can't have a show because there were no licensed officials. That shows Tom Simon. He's refereed, he's announced, we talked on a couple other things. Tom Simon is actually, through his connections with the Cauliflower Alley Club and his wonderful singing voice, which I guess we're going to have a competition between Tom Simon and the Beast somewhere during the Hall of Fame as well. But when it comes down to it, Tom Simon has actually agreed to start the festivities by singing the national anthem at the Hall of Fame. And I'm going to tell you right now, oh, it's a wrestling announcer, it's a wrestling referee. No, this man is sang at the Memphis Redbirds. He's sang at the Cauliflower Alley Club. He's sang at the Tragos Thez. He's an accomplished musician in addition to being in professional wrestling. And I'm going to tell you, had an opportunity to talk to Tom earlier in the week. Looking forward, he's going to come in a couple days for the Hall of Fame. A native Collinsillian, and I'm just happy I got to say that without messing that up. But when it comes down to it, Tom Simon has always been a very close friend of mine. But his track record speaks for itself. And GQ, I know that you've taken a lot from being around Tom Simon. What are your thoughts about Tom Simon receiving the Pete Parisi Award and being inducted in this year's class?
I agree 1,000% on that though too. I mean, with everything from his start with MVWA, and then I believe he ref with IWA.
He was IWA, and then I think he went to World League for a little bit.
I think he also did Carol Brown a few shows too.
Very true, very true.
And he's because I had this talk recently with a gentleman that's inducting Tom, Mr. Steve Murphy, and we're talking about everything that he's done just in the area alone, not just the cauliflower stuff, but not only those groups that we said. He also refed before for RCW. He's refed and everything for Herb as well over SICW as well. So he's had a great footprint in the area.
GQ, you want to imagine this one? And I know because I was there. Not only does he have SICW do his credentials, he's also refereed St. Louis Anarchy. Look it up. So, oh, and by the way, Moonspike.
Well, that's going to be
that'll be
said
discussed in the Hall of Fame too.
Yep.
Ruby, I know you've had some run-ins with Tom Simon over your career. What are your thoughts about Tom Simon receiving the Parisi Award and going in this year's class?
Oh, like I said, Tom has also done quite a bit for the industry, and like I said, he's definitely multi-talented. He's actually stopped in on. We're talking about most recent years with us. He's actually come down to the SICW Fan Fest and has actually taken over the booth, or at least sat down with us at least for like a time or two for a couple of years. When he comes to town,
Ford was the only one he hasn't done it though.
Yeah. I don't think he was there last year, or this past May. He wasn't here, but Tom. Yeah, I do remember Tom back in the days with the MVWA. Then his work down with was Arkansas Traditional Championship Wrestling, I believe.
Very good. Very good.
Was it turnbuckle or traditional? I'm trying to remember now. Was it
traditional? Wrestling with the late Burt Prentice.
Yes. So I mean, getting a chance to work with Burt and just having the voice there, and like I said, he's a very awesome guy to hang around, a great guy, an individual to hang outside the ring too, and he's avid Cardinals fan, so
He never lets me live that down, guys. He never does.
No. Oh, no. Yeah, it's like I said, I'm an avid Cardinals fan, too. I know Jeff Martha is not really too fond on baseball, but,
Yeah, I don't care about baseball.
Yeah. You don't care. But no, he's got, Tom's got a lot of great St. Louis ties, and, he's done a lot for the industry around this area, and, it's great to see him getting this award and then going into this class this year. So definitely well deserved for Tom as well.
Well, gentlemen, we got one more, and we're going to have a chance to go completely around the table because of the fact that we've all had dealings with him over the course of our careers. That being the one, the only Steve Montana. Now, Jim, just to warn you, I'm not calling on age because you and I have been around the wrestling industry nearly the same amount of time. Can you give us a little bit of background on the early days of a Steve Montana?
Oh Lord,
Because I don't know him like that. Oh, you're talking Jim.
yeah.
I'll sit back. You go.
AIM, not GEM.
Hey, Liz, you were not hurting my feeling when he said age and you jumped in. I was okay with that. You were doing great.
Couple too many trees, my friend.
Yeah, I was not angry. I was very happy with that. You didn't hurt my feelings at all.
Okay.
Steve, God, he's such an amazing guy. Hard worker and so easy to get along with. I mean, his matches were smooth. And if you watch some of his stuff, I mean, it was just fun to be in the ring with him, just to watch him work. And nicest guy you ever want to meet. Soft spoken. You wouldn't think that when you see him in the ring and the way he was going. But a very soft spoken guy. He's like, sometimes you're like, I'm sorry, what'd you say, Steve? I didn't hear you. Speak up what? But amazing guy. And then see his career go like it did and him moving along. I asked him one time, I said, Steve, what all the groups are you working? I couldn't even remember. He says, Jim, whatever part of the alphabet you see, I probably worked it. It's like, okay, well, enough said then, a 30-plus career, wrestling career that he turned into a amazing movie career. I mean, the guy is an actor. Not only an actor, but a stuntman. It's like, wow, he took it to the next level, He's a card-carrying actor, you can't give him no grief. He knows what he's doing. He's done voiceovers. He's done shows. The man's not stopping. He told us after the Hall of Fame, he's got to go do a couple more movies or something that are coming up that he's involved in. So, the guy is constantly busy and moving. But if you ever had a chance to work him in the ring, man, it was so much fun. As a referee, you want the matches that are smooth, guys you can work with that you don't have to argue and debate with on things. We all had an understanding, and he was just one of those guys. It was pretty smooth. It was very rare something went crazy and we had to deal with something. But he's one of the fun guys that I remember working with.
Ruby, I want to go.
That's my age showing now. So.
Yeah. You had the opportunity to be across the ring. I remember one night when, actually a couple nights where I've seen you across the ring from one Steve Montana. And
oh my God!
From a wrestler's perspective, what would you say when you talk about Steve Montana and the 26 Hall of Fame?
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm kind of aging myself here too, because once again, this is another guy that I've watched here too, part of one of Frank's old promotions, maybe Heartland Championship Wrestling. I think it was back then in the early '90s, where he was working along, maybe with like MC. If you hear a name of MC Slammer and Moondoggy, I'm really, you're really going back. So. I'm watching Steve Montana, and I'm still watching Steve Montana up until the time where I'm getting ready to make that dive or make my pitch to get in this wrestling business, and I'm seeing Steve Montana that night. Then I finally get in the ring years later, across the ring, whether it be at a battle royal or maybe in a tag. I don't know if I had a one-on-one match with him, but like I said, I've had opportunities to work with him. Like I said, it's a guy. He'll lay it in, but he won't kill you. He won't make sure that you feel, and like I said, that's the old school mentality. That's what that's what I was raised upon. That's what I was trained upon, and that's Steve did it old school. Like you said, it's kind of funny, a guy that doesn't. He's soft spoken and he does voiceovers. That's kind of funny. Kind of doing with that. So, but no, he is soft spoken. Yeah, I mean, the man wanted to talk, he talked inside the ring. He let his actions speak for him, and he had a great look. He had a great look, great persona, and definitely he definitely won over with the fans. And like I said, everybody he worked in the ring, it's either he made them look good or they made him look good, man. And that's basically that's what we're in this business for, is not to make anybody look like garbage. Yeah, I mean, we have to shine each other's shoes at one point, for most of these matches that we have with one another, and it's all in due respect too, for those who are when we're inside that ring, like giving it all we got. Steve Montana, though, like you said, long time coming as well, and definitely a guy that's still working today and taking time out to get his accolade for his contributions and contribution in the wrestling business. So absolutely.
Well, and definitely, like you've seen his start where he's in black and white photos, and then up until like maybe 15 years ago, he was doing matches with Kevin Thorne from ECW and WWE fame. I mean, he was keeping it up nonstop, and still probably would in a heartbeat if he had the chance. I mean, but he, with the acting and everything though too, I mean, it seems to be the next step for a lot of people when they retire from wrestling is to become an actor. Not many people can do that, just like not many people can do wrestling either. I mean, so it shows like with his longevity with that and how he's getting roles here and there and everything, that how much that shows how much he has with that.
And he's taking his own stunt. He's doing his own stunts. So I mean, the guy is still bumping. It's like, I thought you're done bumping. You're retired from the business. I mean, why are you doing bumping on the ground if you're doing your own stunts? So that's incredible.
I mean,
well, gentlemen, I'm going to throw it out there. Well, go ahead, Zenas. I apologize.
No, you're good.
And this is what he actually talk about, though.
So my interaction with Steve is more personal because I'm not a wrestler. I'm just the commentator. I'm just the guy that wants to run his mouth and talk wrestling 24/7. So it was more so like I complimented him on something because he was helping out at the beginning of IEW when we like restarted that promotion away from Frank and RCW and all that kind of stuff. And I just remember him and Chris Trader like going over things and showcasing things and like telling guys how to tweak it a little bit. And it just was so captivating to watch both of those guys do that before show that it was fun. But he did like a big boot and I complimented him about it. And he's like, oh, just wait for the match. I'll show you some more. And then just sitting there and still getting to be, because I got introduced to the indie scene on accident, basically. Like I read about ROH and like Dynamo. At one time, I started walking because of Delirious was down there, and that was one of my goals. Was hopefully one day make it to be able to, do commentary there. Because I don't want to be the wrestler. I don't want to be the showboat. I'm the sugar on top, like the refs that don't get the credit. Shout out Freddie Jack. I got it in. But he was just so kind to me because of that, knowing that I didn't want to be the wrestler. But how can I keep doing justice to wrestling by different ways of saying things to make it more impactful, to like get both guys over, not just one, all that kind of stuff. He's one of the guys that I first listened to, so I was always thankful for that, even though him and I haven't rubbed shoulders again since those times.
Well, I'm gonna throw it out there. I remember an event with Steve Montana, and I remember because Rough Cut Rick Ruby didn't draw that straw that night. I believe it was Doug O'Shea and Billy D taking on Kevin Thorne and Steve Montana in Jerseyville. I know GQ was there as well. Mm-hmm. And these men brawled everywhere you could possibly imagine. Actually, it wasn't in Jersey. I think it was technically in Brighton, Illinois. But these four gentlemen went out there and they just tore the house down, literally and figuratively. And to quote Joey Styles, he's got arms like legs and legs like people. He's got arms as big around as GQ's skull. And again, for his years in the wrestling industry, I mean, he's still just as chiseled out of stone as he was 30 plus years ago. And to have somebody the likes of Steve Montana being our second Screen Actors Guild individual, because I do believe last year's inductee Steve Sharp was the first. That shows the versatility of those going into the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. Is what all do they bring to the table? And I think from top to bottom this year, the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame has done a great job in representing the legacy of St. Louis professional wrestling with this class.
Absolutely.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah. So like I said, we're gonna kind of wrap things up here. But I mean, I've noticed that on your website. So I mean, you've got because I know in the past you've actually had like the Jerry Bullion Award and the John Blackheart Award. So I'm not sure if anybody's getting those awards this year.
Well, what we're doing on those, Dave, is we're rotating them, so we're not doing them every year. That's why you have the 8 inductees. There's actually we don't rotate it and then kind of spread it around a little bit. We would have 12, 15 people going in every year, and
yeah,
that gets expensive quick when you start doing these.
Of course, yeah.
So, but the idea is we want to give everybody their time to talk. Unless you got guys like Luke that get ahead of you, don't understand.
Hey, it'll all be water under the bridge when Tom Simon accepts his induction, and then I can finally get left alone on this one.
I'm prepared for that because I will cut Tom's mic. That's not a problem.
Yeah, but you have Steve Murphy inducting. He'll bring his own mics for it. So,
and Luke needs to be careful because he cut off one special lady from getting her whole speech in. So, Luke, I'd be careful watching my back. You might hear a scream behind him.
Hey, I look at it this way: I'm still on the Christmas card list, so all is good on that. So,
but the idea is that we want to give people their time and honor them for what they've done and give them their opportunity to speak and get their awards and stuff. So when you're limited time frames and you want to get everybody in and give them fair time, we don't want to go crazy and then take away everybody's time. So we want to be fair. So some of these awards will be rotated. So next year you'll see more of the Jerry Bullion Award, Blackheart Award, and then that way we're being fair and giving each award the due that they deserve.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, I mean, and that's I was kind of wondering about that because seeing the type of awards that you have, but I guess like so a good explanation of the reason why we're not seeing that this year. But I'll tell you what, I mean, all 8 of these guys definitely well deserving of their accolades coming their way this year, and if you want to be part of all of this, like I said, this is open to the public. Everybody, it is 4 weeks from today. That is Sunday, July 19th. It is here in St. Louis, in South St. Louis County, to be specific, at Andre's Banquet Center. That's at 4254 Telegraph Road in St. Louis. And if you need a zip code, it's 63129. Actually, all the festivities. So I'm seeing we're seeing a pre-show at 11:30 a.m. Is there something special regarding the pre-show on that?
Well, it's not unusual to be loved by anyone. Sorry.
Yeah, we're going to have GQ.
In that case, I'll wait till 12:30 if GQ's doing that.
No, one of the things that's made this year's Hall of Fame induction ceremony stand out, in addition to the class, in addition to the historical artifacts that we're going to be able to present for people to look at the Hall of Fame, there's been a lot of people wanting to be involved with the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. As we said before, thus far we have had contacts from 5 different countries, and I want to give a shout out here real quick, not only to the Falls Count Everywhere podcast, but when you look at those that have come through, I mean, we talk about individuals like Vance Nevada, for those that don't know, well-known, well-accomplished Canadian wrestler, part of the CAC. Kareem Bergante, KV Violence, from Italy, has been showing his support. We have a gentleman by the name of Mad Dog Darty, who's actually shown his support from the country of China. We have the artist formerly known as Lockie, who's repping the Hall of Fame from all the way in the land down under, that being Australia. And I want to give a shout out to a gentleman who I've really got a chance to kind of pop into as of late, that being Bobby Salazar. Now, here was a man, we had an opportunity to be on an interview with him. He's a up-and-coming referee in the UK. This man actually stayed up until 2:30 in the morning, England time, to conduct an interview and talk about the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. That shows dedication. That shows heart. And again, when it comes down to it, the heart and the drive of the Falls Count Everywhere podcast, this shows what the importance of this Hall of Fame. And this year's another thing to add. I know for a fact that the Wrestle Talk podcast, mentioned earlier on in the beginning of the show, as well as the Around the Ropes radio show out of New York City, the Attitude of Aggression podcast out of California, and several others are going to be joining up as we get closer and closer to the date, are actually going to have, we are going to have a pre-show and a post-show. And from my understanding, that will be broadcasting pretty much on all forms of social media. So that as you're driving to the Hall of Fame, and I know in all of this day and age, we all like to have our phones connected to our Bluetooths and have them in the car radios and things like that. It's going to give you an opportunity to have a little more detailed look at the Hall of Famers. We're going to have special guests popping in. And again, after the event is over, we're also going to have that again. I want to give a shout out to the broadcast team, Renee Martinez from the Wrestle Talk podcast and John Blaine from Around the Ropes are also going to be kind of facilitating that. But I'm going to tell you right now, you don't know who's going to stop by. It could be GQ, it could be Rough Cut Rick Ruby, it could be yours truly, it could be Z-Miz, it could be Jim Harris, it could be Jeremy Carp, it could be The Beast, it could be Tom Simon, it could be any number of people who are going to stop by. We want to make sure that the fans get the opportunity on Sunday, July 19th for their $30 advance ticket. Make it a point, www.istlwhof.com, and you can be able to pull that from the Falls Count Everywhere page. We'll make sure to get that posted here tonight. Make sure to buy your tickets early, because I'll tell you right now, and Jim can tell you, last year was a sellout. GQ was there. There was not a seat to be had last year. And right now, we are on track to be the idea. If you wait until the night of, you may not get a ticket. But again, you get the opportunity to experience a great meal, interact with all of the Hall of Famers and the future Hall of Famers that'll be in attendance. You get the chance to look at some of the history and be a participant in the induction. Last year, we talked about how many promotions there are in St. Louis. 9 different promotions were represented at the Hall of Fame. 9. And it's one of those cool things. Everybody checked it at the door. We acknowledge the history of this industry. We don't have people, oh, well, so-and-so's better than so-and-so. No, you acknowledge the history. That's what the Hall of Fame is designed for. And I'm going to tell you right now, Ruby, you're a Hall of Famer. Jim Harris is a Hall of Famer. I myself am a Hall of Famer. GQ, I know your day's coming sooner rather than later, my friend. You've had a very storied career, and Z-Miz has been lighting the commentary table on fire and doing a lot of great things in the industry of pro wrestling. The Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame is going to give you the opportunity to experience pro wrestling the way that we grew up enjoying it. The paying it forward and seeing the men and women who have paid with their blood, their sweat, their tears, putting hundreds of miles, thousands of miles on their cars, all the travel, the missed holidays, the missed birthdays, you name it. You're going to get that opportunity to acknowledge those individuals. And I'm going to tell you right now, as you've heard here on the program tonight, and want to give a shout out to Falls Count Everywhere again, you guys setting the tone, setting the scene here when it comes to professional wrestling podcast. I mean, where can you not see Falls Count Everywhere? They go to Fan Fests, they're there. They travel the country to events, they're there. They're a part of the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, they're there. They go to Cauliflower Alley Club, they've been there. When it comes down to it, Falls Count Everywhere is one of your top sources when you talk about the Hall of Fame. And gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right now, on July 19th, make it a point. If you're a follower of the show, buy your ticket. You can see Rick Ruby. You can see GQ. You can see Miz. You can see that the other guy who decided he wasn't going to be here tonight. And again, I want to give a shout out to I know how life gets. I'm looking forward to him being back on the program next year next week because he brings a great dynamic to the team. But when it comes down to it, make it Sunday, July 19th, Andres Banquet Center. $30 in advance, $35 at the door. www.istlwhof.com. You don't want to miss it.
Yep. We were what? I don't know, hour? So you got everything there. So once again, $30 in advance by going to istlwhof.com and getting those tickets there. Like I said, don't wait till the day of because you may not get a chance to get that ticket. It's not, and this is for capacity. This is not, well, they're going to run out of food. No, it's for a seat to be in.
No, they ordered more because of Beast. I mean, so come on now.
Tim, it's official. You may not make it out of the building if you keep making those comments.
Yeah, I'm just coming for the cake, so no.
Up there, just.
No, but man,
So, real quick question. I got a question for Jim before they go. Jim, is Luke talking on the mic at the Hall of Fame at all?
Only for one thing, and then he's on time limit, and I will be standing behind him with a bat.
I think a lot of us will be standing around making sure of that. So,
well, actually, I got Billy Diamond bring his Kindle stick, so I may be able to use one finally. I've been asking to use one, so I might have an opportunity.
There you go.
That is true. I'm going to tell you right now, being media coordinator, I know that I'm going to be helping out behind the scenes as it relates to the pre-show and post-show. So, again, from top to bottom, great inductees, great inductors. Make it a point to come out. It's going to be a great time had by one and all. And like I say, keep an eye out on the social media because as GQ was talking about at the top of the show, there may be some unannounced pop-up events over the course of the Hall of Fame weekend that people may appear. I know that right now there's been talking about some people wanting to have some karaoke time. I've heard some people talking about there may be a couple of event appearances. But again, one thing is for certain, the Hall of Fame class of 2026 is definitely one of the hottest tickets in St. Louis right now, and you don't want to miss it. All the great sponsors, all the great fans, all the great wrestlers coming together to celebrate those who've paved the way.
Absolutely. It sounds like a fantastic event. It sounds like a lot of fun, a lot of great people coming out and to be a part of it. And like I said, it's only 4 weeks from now. So, guys, don't delay on those tickets. You need to get them because the time's going to creep up on you, and it could be too late if you wait too long. So make sure that you get those tickets. I would like to thank Mr. Luke Roberts, of course, media coordinator, and, of course, also program director of the Wrestle Talk podcast that's still going strong every Tuesday night at 7 Central, right?
Actually, now it's 6:50. We're getting closer. We're trying to go back to the old days of the Georgia Championship Wrestling era. And to give you an idea, Rough Cut, the Wrestle Talk podcast is now working in conjunction with a local promotion in the West Virginia area called WDWA. And right now, as a part of the Wrestle Talk podcast network, not only can you catch on Tuesday nights, can you catch the Wrestle Talk podcast, but you can also catch a program called WDWA Elevation. It's a great program that talks about pro wrestling in the what you would dare say the old Mid-Atlantic territory. And I'm going to tell you right now, I had a message earlier on from Big Hoss, who's one of the hosts of the show, very regularly listens to Falls Count Everywhere. And again, who knows? You might see Falls Count Everywhere. You might see Rough Cut Rick Ruby piling in the car one more time, making the journey to see if he can go for more championship gold out in West Virginia as a part of WDWA. It could happen. All you got to do is make it a point. Put those hashtags out there. Let people know that you want to see Falls Count Everywhere, Wrestle Talk Podcast, the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. Show your support. Show your love. It's very much appreciated.
I had to pull a Danhausen saying I need some human monies to help with that, but sure. I mean, we can do that.
I'm proud of you, Ruby. You didn't wind up getting hit with that potential copyright issue. You too. Gold star.
I do everything to try to demonetize. But Luke, thank you very much for joining us. Big Jim Harris, thank you once again, Executive Director of the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. Guys, once again, looking forward to a great event, and we'll be in touch, and we'll continue to try to promote this through the upcoming weeks, and seeing how things turn out for Sunday, July 19th. All right.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks
All
for
right, guys. Thank you very much for hanging in here with us tonight. Thank you. All right, so we're gonna drop to this view here, The Miz, because I know GQ. I think GQ had to. He's got to drop because his back kind of bothered him a little bit. In the. Guess he wasn't getting so comfortable, But hey, I'll tell you what, we got some delusion. We got about 20 minutes or so because there's some things here that, we're talking about the world of wrestling here now this past week. And bro, I don't know. I don't know about you, but as far as this King and Queen of the tournament, bro, I don't know, man. I'm just confused as all get out. So
the bracket's busted, dude.
Yeah,
at least on the men's side.
People act like I was picking 12 and 15 seeds to go to the finals. It's like I wasn't doing that. This is crazy on how.
I'm disappointed on both sides of the fence. That's the problem.
It's like I never would have picked. I mean, possibly Oba could have been a possibility, but I never would have picked Jay to go to the finals. I don't know what they're doing with that. Liv Morgan, I understood, but why are we having Neo Sky again in the picture? Why?
Yeah, that's the problem with the women's is we had everything set up for this awesome potential story that we've been teasing for so long, and then WWE's like, not yet. We can't have Raquel versus Liv. No. By the way, shout out to Charlotte and Liv on SmackDown for that match. That was very well done. Since we're talking about Queen of the Ring, I have to highlight that as a whole right now. Oh,
yes, absolutely.
That was the whole storytelling of the leg and stuff, classic stuff, great stuff. I mean, you see it in other promotions. AEW, some of the guys do a decent job with it, but it's overselling to a degree for me, or it's not it. The stem of belief is not there anymore. I can't do it. I'm sorry, but Charlotte showed why she's one of the ultimate best female wrestlers and somebody that people need to look up to because it was just a stunning match between those two.
Yeah, I never doubted Charlotte's ability. I mean, look at her father.
It also stems for how, except for Liv's stupid music and demeanor now.
You hate that,
dude. I'm over it already. Somebody knocked this chick down. Dude. I'm actually more excited for the potential idea that the Judgment Day might dissolve on Raw and potentially reappear completely on SmackDown with R-Truth, Finn Balor, Damian Priest. I would like that more than what this is. I'm not a fan of Liv's character at all at this point. I want her to get punched now in the face. So it's there. She's doing her job, and I'm proud of her for that. But how well she's gotten at that, she was a lady that WWE almost written off. You know what I'm saying? She was put in a group of women that we all thought Ruby Soho was going to be the one that was the survivor of. And Liv has stood the test of time in the WWE system, and when you look at it that way, it's like, holy shit, this chick's good. She is. She's really good at what she does. So that match, I don't know. It's just, but Liv versus Raquel could have been so badass.
Well, see, like you said, this is once again where are we going? Because SummerSlam was one of their key...
Oh shit! Okay, continue. I
was
have
going
an
to
idea.
SummerSlam was one of their key PLEs. That is like their second highest quota PLE. That could have been a story to tell for the short 6 weeks between King of the Ring or King and Queen. Sorry. My old ass is kind of going back to just King of the Ring, but King and Queen going up to SummerSlam. You had everything lined out. There could have been so much that you could have done within that 6 weeks, but and maybe they don't want. It's like you guys tease that there's something in the Judgment Day, and like there's friction. It's like nah, screw it, and then you just go back like nothing ever happened. It aggravates me to hell. And
I think I might have got mentally slapped by Herb just a minute ago, like with all the respect, because I think it's one of those things like why that pay off so soon in the King and Queen with Raquel and them, but we can still get there, and we might be telling a better story.
I don't know.
So Rio Sky's winning, Io Sky's winning,
Yeah.
but Io Sky's not going for Liv.
You think she's going for her friend?
She'll go after Rhea. Dude, that would totally, because who right now on the women's roster on SmackDown is worth going over there, in my opinion. Because Liv and Raquel, we have Liv, Raquel, and Roxanne just waiting to happen, dog. That fire is burning. Like I love the fact that, you know, Big Mama Cool is starting to be like, nah, dude, I'm tired of this bitch, you know? Like, no, we're not doing this anymore. Roxanne's playing the conniving little twat waffle wanting to smack somebody. She's just waiting to smack Liv. These two are going to be in cahoots, bro. I'm telling you, it's going to be JD and Dom with Liv after all this is said and done. So we can still get the Raquel match that we all desire, with Roxanne and Liv and Raquel maybe affecting the loss in the Queen of the Ring, with Io then going after that one. I mean, even if she stays and goes after the WWE Championship, that's fine, whatever, the World Championship, but
yeah,
I think the storyline's better if she goes after, like, just a thought. It might not work.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. But then you've got to develop the world title again. But then...
No, you don't. It's there. Raquel and them are there. The fire's there. We want to see Raquel or Roxanne.
Yeah, I understand. But you could have used that crown as the fire to really ignite.
Oh, dude, I'm not...
You could have used that.
To me, it's a missed opportunity. I agree with you. 100%.
I think somebody got a hold of that eraser and was unauthorized to use it. That's what I think. Dude. That's what I think. You gotta stop leaving them erasers around the book.
And it was because the reason that the crown makes it the catalyst, and I'm with you on it, because if if Raquel could have got the crown,
that would have been so great too.
It's that feather in the cap, that's something that Liv hasn't been able to accomplish. And she's been a champion. She's been around for a while. Raquel's kind of new to the main roster-ish. She's been there like 5 years or something like that now because of the illness that she got, or when she got sick or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, thank gosh, she's healthy and being able to kick butt, because she's one of my favorite females right now on any roster.
That's something that she needed, though. She needed some type of accolade off the main roster, because Liv has got everything, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Io's had the title. She's had the world title. She's had WWE Women's Championship. So what does Raquel have? Raquel needed to come in the forefront, needed to put that step up and take that spot in the Judgment Day as, hey, I'm somebody, you know, and then other people, and then you can have a little freaking struggle with the women in the Judgment Day and make Roxanne pick a side. What? Well, what's so hard about that?
It would have been beautiful. The storyline could have been so good. It was so there.
It makes sense. And this whole thing with Jay, I don't get it. Now they're involving Sammy and Jay, and it's like, you know.
Well, okay,
this whole thing, Sami Zayn. the last real. I love how they're doing this whole last real good guy. He's doing everything but. That's all it is.
So Sammy's awesome right now. Sammy's doing good. I love it because it's kind of like my favorite form of Sami Zayn since being in the WWE is conspiracy Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
so we kind of get like that plus the Depression Johnny all in one character. Because he's always like now talking to Johnny Gargano who's depressed, which is hilarious. So it's the interconnection of storylines and stuff. But and then now like the comment, Jay is the alter ego of Roman Reigns. That thought he was the main event, he was the shit, all that kind of stuff. So Jay's going to become that character. I think we're going to see the Ula, not the Talafala, right? The Talafala.
The Ulafala. Yeah.
No, the Tala. The one that it's a
Jacob
different.
got.
The Jacob got is different because it's the speaker.
Yeah.
It's the second most important. There's people on the internet that irritate the crap out of me that are laughing about the history of that. I'm like, that's a legit cultural history thing. Like, it's not just something that's like being farsed for WWE, you dorks.
This is what happens when you open your mouth first before you start Googling and searching and doing your homework.
Like,
that's what
goddamn.
happens. So you got these people that think being freaking morons. I'm sorry.
So like all as I'm seeing it right now, if you look at the greater scheme of things and how I believe in like reflections, all of the guys that are attached to Roman right now are versions of him, like how people have differently thought about him. Like he was the dog that destroyed everything. That's Jacob. You know what I'm saying? He was the main event star that got pushed to the moon for no reason for doing dumb, Jay. He's the workhorse, which is Jimmy.
Yeah.
He's the rebellious young guy, which is Solo, that wants his own family. Like, dude, it all makes sense. Like, everything, if you look at the greater scheme of life, it's this great thing. But the cool thing about it, and something I think people are not going to notice real quick, is the attack on the celebrity dude, which I can't remember his name, but they
Eric Andre.
Yeah, they slammed him, right? Who did they not mention in the promo about the bloodline being in WWE like that whole time? Do you know what I'm talking about? They never mentioned The Rock once in that promo.
I'm sorry, who?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Another bloodline member that was in WWE, or quote unquote bloodline member. But if people don't know the heritage and the history of the Samoans, you're not gonna know that piece of the story. It's literally when I watch the bloodline, I see truly a family dynamics playing out on screen.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful because if you know the heritage of their aunt and all that stuff running the promotion, all dude, it's just this whole crazy thing. And everybody, we talk about St. Louis, being the mecca of wrestling too. How people always went through there. The Samoans was it Hawaii, right? Where was their promotion at?
The Samoans?
Yeah, the Rock's grandmother.
Oh my gosh! Oh, I don't. Oh my god! I forget it. I don't know if it's somewhere in California.
It was over that way out west. I remember that.
Yeah.
But it's that whole culmination of that last territory to a degree that because they're all there in WWE. A wild Samoan, a member of the bloodline, has not been in WWE. You see what I'm saying? Like you have the McMahons, them. They have been a cohesive unit since day one. It's this whole storyline of the and that's what's really cool, especially with the resurgence of the indie scene, and why I still stand by the word that the indie scene, the territories never died, they just got recalled the indies. That's it. Territories still exist. It's just the indies now. We all were bred from that. That's what bred the coalition that made WWE was the territories or the indies, right?
Right.
And it's this whole spectrum of life now when it comes to wrestling. And that's so cool to see because you're seeing that reemergence of stories reconnecting brands like SICW to the string that is WWE, right? The metaverse that is professional wrestling almost. And it's just a beautiful thing. So I love the Bloodline thing. I'm not too hip on Jay's antics right now, but... And that's because I was such a backer of him, but Jimmy is starting to be really... as the errand boy, like, oh, bro, it's going to get interesting. The storyline's awesome. I can't wait for Zilla, because he's like one of the last pieces of the puzzle.
Right. Yeah, and like I said, they probably, like I said, they don't mention The Rock because, I mean, I don't know how involved The Rock is. I mean, he's just more of a shareholder, presence now, way off, not even around WWE. I mean, he left in the middle of the whole Cena run that he had last year.
Far as we know.
Well, yeah, I mean, he left, and then they didn't want to do nothing with Travis Scott, and then they left freaking Cena high and dry, and then all of a sudden they turned Cena around as a huge face, and then it's like, ugh. Then he loses to Cody, and it's like, bro, that could have been something really, really good. It's just like,
Oh, yeah. I mean, they fall through storylines all the time. Don't... That's why we get to sit here and be like, this is WWE, but...
And the thing I hate about this, though, is, or I should say dislike about this is, at any point, if his music hits and he comes out, he's going to get a huge pop no matter what. He can just come out of the blue.
The Rock?
And yeah.
Yeah, he's like...
And I hate him for it.
He's like Oprah Winfrey of professional wrestling.
I don't pop for Oprah. Sorry.
Well, I know we don't, but the women do. Come on. It's just supposed to be a lame joke of celebrities that get cheered for.
Oprah pops for a Pop-Tart, but I don't pop for Oprah.
Dude, we're playing Fortnite the other day, and it was the whole family, right? So my wife, my kids. By the way, my internet did not like that. 6 PlayStations going on at one time in one house.
Oh, no.
and trying to play Fortnite. So we're playing Fortnite, and Lincoln's Fortnite character is like this robot dude that has the shield that opens up, but it's Rock's face. And he's like, hey guys, guess who's coming to beat you guys up in Fortnite? And we're like, what? And he's like, The Rock. And I'm like, get out here, dude. So this is my 7-year-old saying that. It was funny. It was humorous.
Man, that's funny. Oh, shoot. Well, like I said, and of course, the whole diversion of what's going on from SmackDown, for the whole messed up title match, by the way, with Sammy being the whole portraying everything, because now Gunther's got a rematch at, I believe, a Night of Champions, but it's a triple threat, and Sammy is also involved in that match. So you got Cody defending against Gunther and Sami Zayn in a triple threat, I believe. That's at Night of Champions. Which I believe.
Is it wrong for me to want Sami to win this?
I'm just kind of interested to see. I mean, this is probably going to be the... I mean, I'm intrigued who's going to win King and Queen, but it's just kind of interested in how this is going to turn out with this triple threat. And then, of course, Raw tomorrow is from London, so it's 2 Eastern, 1 Pacific. If you want to watch it live, if not, just let it complete and rewatch it on Netflix, which is probably what I'll do since I'm going to have a long day tomorrow. But hey, you had some things.
Oh no, I was just showing you basically that I guess we can show everybody. Hold on. The Miz, this is, you know whose fault this is actually, and I'm going to call him out right now. No, it's freaking Texans. It's 100% Texans' fault.
Right.
In his videos, in his toy videos, he's always like, make sure you're watching Marketplace. So the one day, the Miz is like, you know what? I'm sitting here. I'm skimming Marketplace on Facebook. And I come across this great snag. But I still haven't gone through it all, so I don't even know who's all in there, really. But I have a whole tote of wrestlers.
Yeah, it looks like the entire NWO.
I mean, there's some really cool ones. Like I got a Damian Sandow now. I got two actually. There's a Mizdow in here.
A Mizdow? Wow.
Yes. So, but like my favorite things I got. Of course, I'm a Miz fan, right? So I picked up. This was in it. The GI Joe action figure line that they did.
Hoorah, Miz.
Yeah, this is when he had the chick magnet, the shirt that had the chicken in the magnet. That shirt was baller, bro. But I got him, John Morrison, and then of course a Randy Orton one too, which was sick. But yeah, there's a bunch of figs in here. So me and the kids got to go through it. We're gonna keep some.
Oh,
Got me
Big E.
Got me a Big E fig find.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that. So, oh, we got another truth. What's up?
Oh yeah, what's up?
That's really about how dark he is too.
Pre-head shaven.
Yeah, this Jay's pretty nice. Beck, who was it that they had the promo with? And he's like, I've been when he was Javon Evans was low key baller for the I was watching you when you had half your face painted, and I was watching you as a kid. I was like, yeah, that was a good line, dog.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, I got some fun to go through because I know I'm not going to keep all of them, and the kids aren't going to keep all of them. So there's going to be some resells going on in there. There's a Jamie Noble that I picked up too. Here it is. We all know I'm a Jamie Noble guy. I got a Jamie Noble back there, but this Jamie Noble was in it, and this is what made me actually want to go purchase it.
Ah, there you go.
But
That's cool.
I got the tote for a steal, and appreciate the dude selling it.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I guess you got those at a steal. They're just dumping them in a bucket.
Bro, I would say it, but like, no.
No?
I can't. Like, I literally. Yeah, the micro ring for the Bobby Lashley that I have. I got the ring now. Heck yeah, dog. You have no idea how the little kid in me is just like pumped right now. I'm firmly somebody that believes 100% that you need to keep the inner child alive. If you're not keeping the inner child alive, you're doing life wrong. You're literally doing life wrong.
Oh my god. Yeah.
If you enjoyed like watching cartoons as a kid, you should be watching cartoons. I don't care if it's reruns on Tubi of Tom and Jerry or something, but like keep your child alive. Keep your inner child alive. That's the secret to life. Respecting thy inner child.
Yeah. Looking for those older cartoons, when I grew up. Then
Tubi, bro.
Yeah.
They have all the Hanna-Barbera cartoons. You can watch
okay.
Captain Caveman and stuff over there. Yeah, bro. Wacky Racers is about to be put up.
Hey, yeah, I'm Flintstones, Jetsons.
All there, bro. And so many more. There's some good cartoons now.
Woody Woodpecker. That's
Woody Woodpecker.
That's Warner Brothers, I think.
What up? Oh, god dang it! That was going to Bugs Bunny. What up, Doc? But it wasn't even like
that.
My kids make fun of me because they always want me to do Mickey Mouse.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Funny.
Oh, this has been Falls Count Everywhere. We thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. Well, shoot. Well, I'll tell you what. We had a good long conversation with the guys from the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. Yeah, I guess went a little longer, but it was all in great conversation, and it just talked about the history of the business and of course the meeting to the business of St. Louis for professional wrestling. There were some other things I did wanted to kind of get you though, but real quick though, I will kind of touch on. I did watch AAA.
I didn't get to that.
And this is really intriguing me because I think we might need to get into a discussion about this next week regarding another promotion that was working with at least one brand. But we got Rey Mysterio now saying that we're going to be seeing AAA guys in not just NXT, but in WWE, in like Raw and SmackDown, and even I think La Hedra from the Toxicas, I believe,
Right.
is getting a shot at Lola Vice's NXT championship, and so apparently there's some more things to come, and I'm seeing a decline. I'm seeing a lot of signs from another company that used to work with NXT's roster, and I don't know. We got to discuss more about this. We're going to give it another week though, but it's not looking good because, like I said, and I'm talking about TNA.
Yeah, I know.
Dreamer's
I know what
gone.
you're getting at.
Yeah, Dreamer's gone. Callahan's gone. Tessa Blanchard asked for her release because she's making more money with CMLL, which is going to be aligning with AEW. So how does So maybe having Tessa Blanchard maybe work with AEW's roster now. So there's a lot of, and of course Macklin's been gone. So
Yeah, that one hurts me a little bit. I was starting to really like Macklin again.
but then they announced the signing of Ali. The TNA did, but like I said,
the bunny.
yeah. But I mean, which is good. But then what do you do? I mean, and to be honest, I haven't really sat down and watched the TNA episode because of all that I do throughout the week. But and there's so much that I need to watch, but I can't watch.
Yeah,
but
I've been watching a little bit more AEW more than TNA, and I forgot about. We watched movies and stuff yesterday.
Yeah, I know that Mercedes Monet's in the freaking finals for the Owen Hart final.
Dude, her entrance music is so annoying. I want to rip my eardrums out every time.
Just her music, bro. Come on,
the little horn thing at the end, like no, it's stupid. I can't stand that woman.
Sounds like a duck talking out of her butt.
She's like, for me, she's like go away heat, and like Liv is like you're doing your job right heat.
Yeah.
That's the best way I could describe. Like nothing about Mercedes Moné has ever intrigued me whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say I only liked her when she was the original stuff that they did with Bayley in NXT.
Yes.
Okay, made her look like a star, and then when they were the best friend thing doing like in the role model and the shitbag duo, that shit was good too. But outside of that, you don't need like Charlotte's still Charlotte even without the 9 matches they had with each other.
Yeah. True.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true. No, but
and Becky's still the man without like because that's all Nia's fault.
And another big release from TNA that I forget because he was more on the booking side is Tommy Dreamer's no longer there.
Tommy Dreamer left.
Yeah, Tommy Dreamer left.
But Sammy Callahan's the one that got.
But no, Sammy left too.
Yeah,
Sammy's not there.
I didn't even know Sammy was there still. But
I think there was a role that he wanted. He wanted to be more creative. They wouldn't give it to him, and he's like, okay, I'm out.
Once again, I don't know anything. I'm just going off of what the rumor mill said. There was a picture of Delirious becoming like head of creative in TNA, and I'm like, I can't get down with that.
But then there's also a certain There's a certain.
I said it was dirt sheet. It was. I'm telling you, it was rumors. I don't know shit.
But there's also rumors about possibly TNA doing a partnership with Ohio Valley.
I heard that.
But like I said, I won't.
And then you got the buyout by WWE that's floating around.
And I said, I don't know if I'm going to check these TV ratings again because it might be it may be still down at a low level, if not gone.
Dude, I'm
lower.
not going to lie. Right now, at this point, I say to save the heritage of TNA, sell it to WWE, let WWE establish it, help the money trickle down to the system, and kind of filter into it. You put somebody like, I don't know, a Petey Williams in control of Created down there or something, or helping out, because him and Bobby Roode would be sick down there with AJ, like helping the storylines and stuff and bring back the heritage of what TNA once was. Because Undertaker's doing a baller job of bringing back with the heritage of AAA with Ray down there. They are knocking it out of the park right now. So like I said, I haven't seen this one, but like if you do that with TNA, that would be pretty slick, dude. Because TNA was one of my favorite promotions, and it hurts to that I don't, because a lot of their storylines just don't make sense, and their character development's not the best.
Man, we're talking about next Sunday too, because apparently next Sunday is also their Slammiversary too. So you got the Great American Bash for NXT. You've got TNA Slammiversary is actually in Boston next Sunday.
Wow.
So, I'm trying to see if there's a card in here. So let's see events, see all events.
I say put the company on Matt's back, Matt Hardy. Let the broken universe go wild.
Yeah, so you got the Ultimate X match that's in here. Amazing Red is back, being part of that Ultimate
What?
X.
Oh, dude, I'm watching that for sure.
Leon Slater's in there.
For sure.
Casey Navarro, Frankie Kazarian. Oh boy,
That's a star-studded Ultimate X match, bro.
Fabian Eichner, and of course, Mr. Elegance.
Yeah, I could do without.
And then we have
Smoking? They called him like the knockoff Lex Luger or something like that. the
knockoff narcissist.
Yeah, the Timu Lex Luger. That's what it was. The Timu Lex Luger is what one of the guys from, I don't know if it was Ishmael or not, over there. It's the Smoking Venom podcast.
Oh yeah,
that stuff was funny, bro.
yeah.
It might have been the Hater. Low-key's one of my faves.
So it looks like, and then there's a ladder match, triple threat ladder match for the tag team championships. It looks like we got Broken Hardys here.
Yeah, the Broken Hardys are back, so that's the only thing I've been watching is the Hardy versus the Righteous stuff.
Brother Nero looks pretty wicked. So it's the Hardys.
Willow came back too, bro. Yeah, they're bringing out all. Bring me some itchweed. Jeff Hardy's only good character.
Yeah.
I'll stand by that.
So the Hardys, the System, and the Righteous all competing for the tag championship. So wonder if the Righteous will somehow get up there. Makes you wonder. We got Nick Nemeth going after Mike Santana for the World Championship.
That's gonna be a banger match.
Laying Lee defending the Knockouts title against Zaya Brookside. They're still at that feud.
Yeah, that hasn't gone where that should have been a breeze feud. No offense.
Yeah, it needs to end. Eddie Edwards versus Moose. That's gonna be a good one. Eric Young versus Ricky Sosa. Oh, the Elegance brand defending against Rosemary and Ali.
Yeah.
For the Knockouts World Tag titles. And that's the card.
Let's go, Rosemary and Ali.
Yeah, Rosemary and Ali. I like Rosemary's new look too.
Hell yeah, dude.
Pretty good. Yeah, so there's a lot of wrestling on tomorrow. So, I mean, not tomorrow, but, tomorrow actually with Raw, but I'm talking about next Sunday. Next Sunday, freaking, you got the Great American Bash, you got Slammiversary, and then you got SICW All-Star Wrestling, and then we're supposed to wrap all of that up, Oh my gosh, I don't know what we'll do.
Hey, also, I know this is so much more wrestling, and then we don't have to stay on this long. But if you ever get chances to, you need to check out some MLW because Karrion Kross and them are killing it down there, bro. Austin Aries just became open weight champion.
Ah, wow!
Dude, it's good stuff down there. So, yeah, there's wrestling everywhere, and that's a beautiful thing. You don't like a promotion, just go around the bend. There's another one. Throw a rock.
Oh hell yeah!
I dare you. You're gonna hit a letter.
Yeah. If you name a letter, it's in there, you know. I don't know, Z. Have you been in Z yet?
Oh, dude.
Is it Miz Championship Wrestling?
You know what? I want to leave off this. I want to hear your what would your fantasy wrestling promotion name be? So pick your 3 letters, and let's hear some fantasy wrestling promotion. And keep it PG, people. Like, keep it. Don't get goofy. I know we're gonna get them, but like.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I'll post the thing. I'll post the thing up on the channel too. As
yeah, like I said, we may, you know, that might be something for like We Talk Wrestling. You know, what if you had a dream promotion to make that has been taken?
I'll build up a thing for it, and we'll post it in We Talk Wrestling.
Yeah, that could be done here too, because I don't know.
We can post it on both
it's like
of them.
maybe like one watcher on Facebook and a few on YouTube, but a good number on X though.
You can post stuff on YouTube now too, like that. So.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
We can hit them all.
Yeah.
One way or another. See, I can get and break down a song like GQ.
So, I want to tell everybody something here. We may have an opportunity to branch out to more streaming channels, to like different social media. But I'm going to check into it because we may be going into an additional streaming platform in the near future. So once I know more, then you'll know. But I don't know. There's there's this one.
But the way you said that was like a double the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't say the word. Go ahead. Never mind.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, like I said, we have Twitch on here, but then mainly like Twitch is like 1 or 2 people, and then one is like freaking like a bot. It's like a best streaming service at. And I'm like,
after I realized that when I post.
Yeah, best streaming service at your mama's house. Stop posting that crap. And then, unfortunately, I don't know if anybody, and I do want to apologize if anybody had actually seen the comments on YouTube tonight by a certain user. They have been blocked and they will be reported, so don't worry about that. To nothing but total disrespect. So we're all here for positivity. You know, if there's any sign of disrespect, you will be blocked. Mark my words on that, and you will not be invited back. So I don't got. Hopefully, don't play that, and got no time for that. So, but no, I mean, I think that's all, man. I think that's all we got here tonight. There's actually more. Like I said, I want to see how everything unfolds here. I'm gonna, like I said, with AAA, because I mean, next week's gonna be crazy too. You got Night of Champions, and after Night of Champions, you got AAA, but before that, you've got, you've got Raw, you got SmackDown, you got NXT. Like I said, I'm looking forward to the Great American Bash. See if I would love to see Kimber Gray knock off Lola Vice. I'll tell you that. I would just love to see that.
Money.
Yeah.
I'd be pumped for it.
Of course, that'd be good writing, but then of course no one listens to good writing, so we won't see it. So just like this whole King of the Ring tournament and Queen of the Ring tournament.
We totally gave WWE the storyline.
They don't know what they're talking about, so no, we're just gonna do something totally different and guess at it. So.
I mean, I like to think I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, I've only been in for 30 years, jackasses. Don't listen to me at all. So
it's like one of the only things I watch.
I'm not bitter. It's just make it make sense. It's something right. It just doesn't make sense to me. But
I can't wait to see what happens though.
No, me neither.
I hope it's my storyline where EO goes for Rhea now.
Yeah,
dude, that'd be such a turn of event because she's trying to like make friends over there and like I don't know EO. I never been a fan of EO as a face. I think that's why. I think I've always liked her better as like the bad guy.
Yeah. I don't know. I miss Damage Control. That's another thing, and that's just another well I'm not gonna jump into right now.
Yeah, I mean I miss that too. You ruined a
perfectly good faction.
Yeah.
But but I'm going to find more topics to talk about next week. We'll see. With everything going on, we may or may not have a guest. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see if anybody is going to be wanting to come on, maybe to promote something or just kind of talk about the business itself. But either way, I think it's safe to say we need to get out of here, huh? Let's do that. I think. There we go. As long as my buttons work, it will play. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us for episode number 235 of the Falls Count Everywhere podcast. I would like to thank Big Jim Harris and Luke Roberts from the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame joining us as our featured guest tonight. Make sure that you join us next Sunday, 9 p.m. Central. We're going to have lots more for you. Like I said, a lot of wrestling on Sunday night. And we're going to try to catch up with all of it, including the king and queen of the ring. So, Night of Champions. Oh, big weekend. You guys take care. Have a great night. And we will see you next Sunday for episode number 236. Take care and have a fabulous last week of June. See you guys.
Toodaloo!
Ooh, gotta dance.